Welcome to Subramani. I'm going to talk about a little range of topics, but largely centering on what is enough and how do you measure it. Are you able to measure it at all? So the first thing is, I was watching an interview of a man who has a 18-room house in US and with a tennis court and a swimming pool, and he said over the last 8-9 years he has not used more than 3 rooms, never gone to the gym, never used the pool, right? So what happens is you start using money as a can I afford it game, right? It's more an accounting game, saying, oh, I have such a big house like the Vanderbilt house, which is 1,78,000 square feet. Can you imagine a house of that size, which means you're talking to each other only on phone and maybe there are only 4 or 5 of you, and does it really bring pleasure? I don't know. I don't know whether keeping on buying things and acquiring things really brings pleasure, or because the first car gave you pleasure, you want to add your 38th car or the 39th car. I mean, there's a limit to what you would need. And is the marginal utility of that new room, adding a couple of rooms to your house, is that really going to bring any great amount of satisfaction? That's a very difficult question to answer. So like Charlie Munger says, I didn't want more money, I wanted to be independent. I think that's a very deep meaning statement. You want to be independent, which means you have to be able to get up in the morning and decide what you want to do during the day, right? So I keep saying this, I can do what I want. Does not mean that after telling you that I will do a training at 4 p.m. I'll tell you, I can't call you up and say today I won't do. If I have to do or not to do, I have to think, I have to accept, and once I accept, then it's a question of going ahead and committing to it. I keep telling this to people. I took a middle class person to meet an industrialist, and the industrialist house had a wide array of breakfast. We were meeting him for breakfast. It was a wide array of breakfast. We were meeting the younger brother. So the elder brother came, had one dish. I don't remember, he had a coffee and he moved out, and my friend couldn't believe that that guy is having only that much for breakfast, and he was badgering me saying, oh, there was so much available and why was he not eating? I said, that is exactly what is enough. You have a choice of what to eat, does not mean you will eat everything. So when you have a choice of what work to do, you get up in the morning saying, hey, it's going to be fun because I'm going to do training today. It happens to me even today after 20 years plus as a trainer. I still get very, very incentivized to do training, and I don't think it is about money. I'm not saying it's not, I don't charge fees or things like that. In fact, I'm cutting down a lot of stuff where I don't think people are serious enough while they're attending. So I'm very happy doing a lot of training where there is feedback saying, wow, so many people started investing, this is what happened, people started organizing their money better. So that is the kind of feedback that I want. I don't want feedback saying, oh, the training was good but no action happened. I want the training to lead to action. So the choice is, what do I want to do, with whom I want to do, how much I want to do. Those are the choices. When you have, then you have really arrived some great form of wealth, where you're sought for the kind of impact that you can have on people's life, and not just for reading from a PPT, right? So, and I'm also convinced more and more, and after reading people like Charlie Munger and Morgan Housel, that where I think he talks about money. Money is like I'm convinced money, I used to always say money is like salt. Excess doesn't help you, but you need the right amount. You can't say I don't need money. We all need money, but an excess doesn't really help. But perhaps a better example is money is more like alcohol, right? Or even like drugs. Morphine, it's a good painkiller, so that's the quantity that you should take. If you take more and more of it and you get more addicted to it and you need even more after taking that, then there is absolutely no point in saying that I have a house with 48 rooms, out of which I've used 2. I've seen 3. Right? I don't know what is the incentive in having a house like that, or having a house with. I remember meeting one CFO who was very proud to say I have 9 cars, and to me it didn't really matter whether he had 9 cars. How would it really help, right? I'm not incentivized enough by 1 car, 2 car, 3 cars. As long as your needs of transportation are met, as long as your needs of shelter are met, life to me seems better than chasing those physical symbols, right? So largely, if you have time and if you can pick up the phone and say, let's go, let's travel, I mean, whatever you want to do, let's play a game of golf, it takes 4.5 hours. Right, let's go for a run. Let's run 32 kilometers. That's going to take you another 4.5 hours, right? I mean, run at a slow speed. So all that, can you spare that kind of time? Can you say, oh, I'll have to spend a lot of time in recovery? Can somebody call you up and say, watch this movie on Netflix or on Amazon or something like that? Do you have time for doing all that? Do you have time to sit and think about whether that something like this should be done, right? And I like Morgan Housel saying money should be like oxygen. You don't have to think about whether it is there. You don't have to be, nobody needs to worry about it, right? So I have a friend who has a very nice net worth, and he asked me, is it necessary for me to still calculate my net worth? I said, and I remember that he had helped another friend's peon, right? Another friend, attendant in his office with an amount of 10 lakhs to meet his medical expenses. I mean, it was a gift. It was not even a loan. So I said, when you write out a check, you should at least know whether you can write out a check without worrying. Or do you have to think, okay, can I pay you in installments, as in when the hospital bill comes, I'll pay, that kind of a thing. Or pass the hat around and say, here is a guy who needs 10 lakhs, I'm putting 1 lakh. Come on guys, write a check. You didn't have to do any of those things. You could write a check. So the question is, can you write those checks so that in your ability to help and your wanting to help could be different, and your ability to help. Another thing which I feel very strongly about is the incentive structure in most of the industries today is towards people for getting more and more. So a hospital wants more patients, pharma company wants more people to buy their drugs, doctors want to see more patients, mutual funds want more assets to be managed. I can't see anybody striving towards better. Right? So if you can't strive towards anything better, working with those kind of incentives seems to be very, very difficult. At least I find it very difficult. So the advantage is when you can have a profession where you can have intellectual honesty. So intellectual honesty. I used to do a lot of training in a bank, and the bank used to sell a product. I dare say they still sell a product where the bank was getting 60% commission. Yeah, read my lips, 60% commission. And obviously the people used to ask me, is this a good product for the customer? And I said this product was, and I used to say this product was designed by your MD for this company, and therefore you're the only one selling this product. And so this kind of intellectual honesty can happen only when you're doing a training job and not when you're doing a sales job, or when you're doing any other job. Your intellectual honesty is challenged every day. It does not happen when you're doing training. When I'm talking to a bunch of young boys and girls who want to start investing, I can straight away look at them in the eye and say, if you don't want to learn, there is an index fund. There is of course term insurance. And this is what you need to do. However, if you are willing to learn, there are 8,000 funds, 9,000 funds for you to choose from. Why a Brazilian commodity fund? Do you invest in US fund? Do you have mid cap, large cap, small cap? Do you